Call to order. This is the Portland Airport Advisory Board meeting for June 10th, 2026. Roll call of the airport board. And Larry Odell is president, Tim Combrick. Bill Mutiny is president. Rush Schauhauer and Phil Cummings are excused, correct absence. Pat Allred is here. Brian is online, and Alan or your Aiden is not here, so he's able. Is okay. So we're going to be going on it tonight. So I'd ask everybody to stand. The pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item 3, putting on the board, we have to advise any conflicts of interest.
I don't have conflict with Pat. Brought up that before we get started, I think probably everybody's aware of the passing of John Adams. And John, I think, was the longest serving airman this sport ever had. And he was not a pilot himself, but he loved aviation. This board and what the Portland Airport did meant much to him. So
I was acquainted with John and worked with him over the years in the Airplane Association.
Yeah.
He was always very positive. So I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Make some change that.
Yeah. Empire Airline Board member for over 20 years. So I'll take it. Thanks. All I got.
Okay, moving on. Any changes to the agenda that anybody would like? Hearing none. Item 5, the minutes of the previous meeting. We've been from March 11th. Remember back that. Somebody like to make a motion?
I make a motion that we approve the minutes for March 11th, 2026. I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item 6, staff reports. Update from the airport director and staff.
Absolutely.
That's be the heart of the meeting, so.
Excellent. We'll see how entertaining it can get. First thing we have is the runway 2 and 20 LED lighting project. I would say that's about 98% complete. All the new lights are in, new conductors in, transformer runways are back open. All the PAPIs have been installed on runway 2, 20, and 24. Those guys will remain off until the FAA comes in and does the flight check on them. We're just waiting for their scheduler on that. So the ball's in their court. They have everything. That can be from next week to 3 months from now. So hopefully they get us on their schedule and when that airplane's coming around the side of the country
this week.
Yeah, hopefully. So as soon as they flight check that, verify everything looks good, we can keep those on and kill another one on that, and that project will be done. We're excited. That is the 100% funded grant from the state, so that was zero match funds from us to get all those lights swapped out. We are looking at a couple. We had a little bit of extra money left over from it. We're looking at a couple upgrades to the electrical system. One being the regulators that actually power runway 624 in November. Those are still the older regulators. They're well over 10 years old now on that side. So when we demoed that electrical vault that was kind of over by Coeur d'Alene Aviation. That was the regulators for the small runway. When that was all moved over, there were new ones installed. So this side of the airport is completely brand new now. So we're looking to replace those regulators. So everything on that system has system integrity. And for the most part, minus a few lights left to do on Delta and the Alpha corridor, will be completely converted with new infrastructure on that. So definitely excited to get that wrapped up. The quick update on the tower, the contract tower program, we officially have submitted our application now with the FAA. So the ball's in their court. They'll come back to us now. probably seeking more information. Usually, basically what you do is you do that memorandum of understanding, which was signed by the board downtown, submitted to the FAA, basically saying we want to be a part of the program, welcome us in. They'll ask us then for the official application, which is pretty much data we've already put together, and they will do the cost benefit analysis on it. It has to score a certain score in order to be accepted into the program. And I mean, we believe that we will exceed that without any issues with our traffic and proximity to community and stuff like that. So I'll keep you guys updated on that along the way. So there's nothing that says, it's basically an FAA email address that is 10 miles long that you send this MOU to, and it probably goes to 20 different people, but there's no receipt given to you. There's nothing. It just kind of sits there, and when they get back to you, they get back to you. So hopefully that's inside of 90 days here that we hear something.
I'm still looking at 5 to 7 years to having an actual salary.
Possibly. If we can get this step completed, then we're eligible for money from the feds. It opens it up to anytime they have tower money available, whether it be for the siting study, for the environmental, for the tower build itself, or radios for the tower, we have to be in the program to accept those monies. So we're going to keep pushing the ball down the court, even without being in the contract tower program. We can pay for those in-house, and those are all reimbursable. So if we want to spend $100,000 of our general fund money, we can start that study, because a lot of those studies are good 18, 24 months to complete. And we'll kind of run those in parallel. So we're not completely, if we waited on the FAA's timeline, we'd probably be 8 to 10 years before everything was done. So if we can keep everything moving, I would say it's like 3 to 5 years to have a tower. So that's what we're hoping. That's what we're shooting for.
Are you gonna go ahead, excuse me, are you gonna go ahead and spend some of your fund money for that?
Likely to keep it rolling. We'll kind of treat it like match money with our AIP funds for other FAA projects. So we have that available to us. I don't want to sit and wait for the FAA to take a year to say that that's been completed. Now you've been accepted into the program. Now you can start that process, when really we can start that process and have it be a reimbursable. So
we kind of leapfrog your process.
correct. Yeah. So
Do you have any timeline on when they're gonna change this airport symbol to blue on the charts?
we're actually working on that with FSDO and with ATC, asking the question of why we can't change our 5010 right now, because we're towered full time. We're here 7 days a week with certain operation. You can be a class Echo. It doesn't have to be a Delta to be shown as a controlled airport. There's plenty of other controlled airports that are blue and are inside of an Echo. So waiting on the airspace to change isn't really, I don't see why we have to do that. So those are the questions I'm asking now, because when I log into our 5010 form, basically our master record with the FAA, I can check the box right now and change it from uncontrolled to towered and put in our frequencies. So if we can do that now and have it to where it's actually on the charts on the plates, that would alleviate a lot of confusion with that. So
Are you gonna go ahead and do that, or
oh yeah, I've initiated those conversations already.
so that we can probably anticipate some near-term cycle of the sectionals that we see?
It could. I think it's a 56, 58 day cycle on those. So from the time I check the box, it'll be a good 60 days before you actually see it published in that way and have it on ForeFlight and Garmin and everything, all the paper charts.
ForeFlight already has frequencies on there.
They do. That was an update they did for actually myself and Jesse back there. We've pounded on their door quite a bit, basically with different safety concerns, saying, can there be something that shows that there's a temporary tower here? So that's when they updated, and on their main page it says temporary tower with hours and check the node and stuff. So I'm kind of glad they did that.
Well, we could officially declass anybody in the summer.
I don't know if the airspace change will happen by then, but we could be controlled. We'll be shown as controlled airport, as blue on the map with the tower. One of the questions they're asking is, do you have to have the ATIS to be controlled? Does the ATIS panel have to be installed in the tower before we can show that, or can it just still be an AWAS with it being controlled? So these are all the questions they're supposed to be asked or answering here shortly.
Just the symbol is the most,
If it can just change
symbol is
that,
the
and
most
it's,
important thing.
and it's on our plate.
What the class of the airspace is, it's like,
Correct, 100%. So it would definitely alleviate a lot of confusion. We still get stragglers in here that after a year of it being here full time, but multiple years of it being here, that I had no idea Tower was here. It's like, well, you didn't check your notes. And so they kind of tell on themselves in that way. But
Yeah, at least if you have a blue, on fourth flight Garmin,
Mhm.
when they call the map up, it's gonna confirm that for them, then it'll start.
well, then it goes, I mean, honestly, in all the new airplanes, all the push button stuff, it's in the databases. So it's already switching to Tower when you're going to your next frequency. So it'd be nice to have all that stuff loaded in there. Right now, it's not.
Yeah.
Next item I have, Taxiway Alpha, still going ahead as planned, finishing up final design on that. We're still slated for a September construction on Alpha. We are going to be sending out notifications very soon. We want to be a few months ahead of the game to allow people to make plans for moving an airplane, having it in a different hangar, not choosing not to fly during that time. But they're gonna want to hit it hard, hit it fast, and just do that 30-day project, get it done, and move out. So we'll be reaching out with a bunch of communication on that. Kind of exciting. Our next after Alpha is the master plan update for the airport. So first step in that is going to be advertising with an RFQ for a consultant to conduct the master plan study and build a new master plan. It's a master plan update. We are building that RFQ as we speak. Once everything is approved by the FAA, we can send that out for advertisement and have everyone start responding, having different firms respond to that. Once we can start that before the grant is actually administered. So we can begin the selection process. That way that's all done this summer and we don't have to start this process in fall when the grants come out for that. Kind of gives us a leg up on getting that process done. Once the master plan is started and completed, that is when it's really going to solidify all the things we've been talking about for the last couple of years as far as runway configurations, extensions, different projects. This is the step to solidify that and kill the other decoupling option for good. So, and honestly, really forecast the airport accurately for the next 10 years here. So I'm kind of excited to put that into motion and see what they come up with. So we'll likely have when the time comes, I'll circle back with the advisory board and we will have you, we're looking for 2 members off the board to be designated to a selection committee that will help in reviewing those applications and submissions, rating them, and making a recommendation on what consultant we want to go with. That'll be comprised of 2 of my staff, 2 of you guys, Leslie, our advisor from the BOCC will be on that. And also our community development director from the county is also going to sit on. So we'll have a pretty good team of guys looking at those, selecting the consultant. A lot of people are interested in bidding on that or throwing their hat in the ring for that. So they see Coeur d'Alene and how much it's exploding up here and are pretty eager to come work up here.
Gaston,
Yeah,
well, Gaston is Brian. If you need a volunteer, I'm happy to do it. So
absolutely. Yeah, that'll we'll leave that up to the advisory board. Like I said, once we actually get to the point of advertising and selecting that in the next few months here, we'll come back and ask that you guys appoint the members to sit on that committee.
fair enough.
Any other questions on master plan?
Oh, how soon are you gonna want those 2 members?
It'll be a few months here. We'll ask for them in a few months.
How far in advance does the master plan go?
In advance. What do you mean?
I mean, how far out?
How far out?
Yeah.
It's a 10-year plan.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. And then you start preparing to update the plan about year 6 to 8, somewhere in there.
Correct. Yep. We are doing ours a little bit early by a couple of years just due to us exceeding our master plan. Our master plan came out right before COVID. COVID hit, and I don't think anyone could have forecasted what was going to be moving here and what was going to happen with the airport. So we exceeded that plan 3 years ago, honestly, if you look at the forecasting in it. And as far
See
as
the air traffic expectations. That's what you mean.
correct. Yep. Air traffic capacity, type of client. Honestly, if you look at like fleet mix and type of clients, everything has changed from what was originally forecasted. Any other question on that one? I want to honestly just say a general thank you. I know we seemed kind of harsh sending out our weed notification letters to everyone, but with the way everything has been growing this year, we started cutting weeds probably 3 weeks earlier than we usually would have. So definitely appreciate it. Our guys are working around the clock to mow the over 800 acres that they take care of. So as soon as they're done getting to the other side of the airport, the other side's ready to be mowed again. So they're just doing this kind of bouncing back and forth, but we appreciate it when all the hangars look clean, and we try and keep our side of the house real nice and tidy. So we had to get on a couple people to get it looking nice, but we like it looking nice for everybody. So, and it definitely increases the metrics of the airport. So definitely thank you. Last meeting, I briefly touched on the airport constructing a couple temporary helipads for the U.S. Forest Service Rappel hotshot crew that's moving up here. Those pads are complete now over by the old dog pound area. And the team is here. So they have their first
two helicopters.
Yep. They've got their first Rappel helicopter. Hillcrest is back with their Bell over there. They have some temporary like Conex box trailers over there that are going to be their temporary office space until they figure out what they're going to do. But the team is there and they're getting ready to go to work. So they're definitely happy. Love working with the airport and stuff on getting those in for them. So
We're going to have a larger population of USFS and Idaho Department of Lands people here this summer.
we actually, I believe this year there's less equipment slated from IDL, where last year we had 4 fire bosses and 1 Type 1 helicopter. I believe they're only getting 2 plus a Type 1 helicopter. That doesn't mean that's what's actually gonna be sitting here. As soon as fires start, they'll start moving equipment up here. That whole ramp will be full. We are gonna have 1, if not 2 heavy tankers actually based here this year. So that'll be a little bit of change. They're not gonna wait till the fire's here. They've already had 1 sitting here earlier in the season until the California fires kicked off. This is the first time, I think they said in like the last 10, 15 years that the tanker base is opened in May. It's actually open for business now. They could have a tanker come through and move retardant through it. So they're preparing for a pretty heavy fire season this year. We're prepared for that. We've had a lot of operational meetings with Stancraft, fueling, tower, tanker base, just to kind of get everyone on the same page for a heavy, busy season. So we included the flight schools in that same meeting, just so they're kind of aware of what to expect if things start getting really heavy with tanker operations and stuff, what to expect as far as touch and goes and everything. So everybody's on board, everyone's on the same page. So looking forward to the season with them. Quick construction update on Delta 3, the little condo hangar project that's going on the Delta 3 extension. They're getting all the footings in as we speak and ready to do foundation work on that. They should have the road, the new Skyhawk Lane extension, final graded here in the next couple of weeks. And then we're going to start replacing the gates down there, actually moving that Skyhawk gate and getting that put in with that Atlas gate. So that won't be a dead end at the end of Atlas there anymore. That'll have the normal access. You won't have to go through Cessna and take that detour that's kind of going around by Jim Walsh's hangar. You'll be able to actually come down Skyhawk and turn left on Sikorsky and do your normal route in. So
to mention, I don't know if anybody else experienced this, but I find going through that Cessna gate that getting that Arcata past the function, it seems to be a bit of a delay getting through there.
Interesting. Yeah, we can take a look at it.
I don't know if that would be with the internet access that it needs in there.
It could be just the point to point where that radio is being seen from there, but definitely look at it. One thing I will caution, we've had a lot of people say that they've noticed a lot of people trying to tailgate in that have nothing to do with the airport, and they're seeing it. Everyone's being funneled into that one gate, so I think people are just seeing it more. But I would just ask that from the airport, just use caution. If you do not know who's behind you, block the gate. Don't let them in until they open the gate themselves. And use caution with pulling forward. By the time you pull forward enough to get off the loops, they could pull forward enough to get on the loops to actually hold the gate open. So where you'll think that they are using their pass to open it. They're actually just, their car is holding the gate open, like the safety loops that are in the ground. So
Yeah.
I would say just pull forward enough to clear those and park until it starts to close and let it close. If it's almost closed and opens back up, that's from them keying
Yeah.
it, but just kind of do some due diligence. We've had some, I will say, one of the things I'll lead into next is just interesting security concerns around here. Interesting people are making their way into the airport on foot. We had a couple people around the museum that were very suspicious people that entered the airport through the reasoning of going to the museum, but then had really no interest in the museum. We made contact with them, took care of the whole thing, but definitely suspicious individuals. We're probably going to be working on in the near future here, getting some cameras on our gates, like on our main access points. For an airport of our size to not have a single camera on our perimeter, it's not something we really like, and we need to change pretty quick, because every concern we've had where we've had the sheriff involved, they're asking, cool, where's the video? Did you see them come in? What gate did they come in? What did they look like? And there's nothing to give them. So just be extra vigilant. I would say, as all of us as users, just keep an eye out. We're being extremely attentive to our fence and our perimeter. We found a lot of areas where barbed wire's been pushed down on fence posts, like up against hangers and kind of dark corners where it would look like someone was hopping over the fence in different areas. So the sheriff is doing extra patrols out here. We are having extra patrols out here with our guys out here in the middle of the night. So just be vigilant. If you see something, say something, give us a call, give the duty phone a call, and we'll go get involved with it. So
Have you put an email to the airport population?
we're putting one together right now, just kind of a general watch for tailgaters, watch for people that are walking around that shouldn't be. The tower is being extra vigilant with people walking around out in the movement area. A lot of the time it is just a tenant like walking out to the fuel island or to the airplanes across the taxiway or something, but technically they shouldn't be there unless they call the tower to be out there. So the tower's reporting that and having people go check out and see what's going on. So just keep your eyes out. We'll, like I said, we're going to be doing some enhancements. This Verkada system allows us to do a lot of easy and very cost-effective things at those gates. Now that they have the radio communication, we can do all kinds of accessories on those gates to be able to keep some extra eyes on some things. So final item I have is the turf runway. Just want to give an update on that. Finally, we're working with the FAA for better part of a year on having them decide what they want to call it, whether it's in the RSA, it's an ALA, what is it? We've, based on recommendations from a couple other airports and the FAA now themselves, we're moving forward with the ALA, alternate landing area model. It's a little bit more unofficial. We definitely don't want it to be called a run. It's not a runway in any way. That's too close for parallel runway operations, but it'll basically be non-simultaneous operations at your own risk, the same way it is now. Just a highly improved surface, watered, the whole thing. So we're still deciding if it's even going to be honestly shown on the ALP. It not being an official landing area, it's an alternate landing area. That's the way that Sun Valley does it. It'll be very similar to their program, the way they run it. The tower, our LOA with the tower just says that the airport is authorizing people to officially land out there at their own risk. So the tower will say the same way they do now, at your own risk. Pilot acknowledges that you can use the runway landing area.
Is that what they do at Phelps?
Yeah, exact same. So we are actually going to be simplifying the construction automatically with that. We're going to be out there actually in the next few weeks digging some test pits, checking the geo makeup of the ground out there. It's already pretty stable. People land out there now and they're not sinking on the mud. So essentially we'll go in with a greater roll off the vegetation and the duff, just a couple inches, get that out of the way. If we need to level and bring up anything, we'll import a little bit of pit run from our pit, cap it with topsoil, compact it, and hydro seed it. So we'll actually plant the correct seed that's not going to build those like tough balls. I know Larry and I were talking about that, and get the sprinklers out there, get it watered, and We're looking to do that October. I don't want to do it too early. We're not in a rush to do it right now because essentially you want that snow to sit on that new seed to help the seeds germinate. I don't want to go strip that off and then it be just an open dust bowl all summer long, blowing around the edge of the runway. So we'll wait until a later season when we start to see that rain again. We'll strip it, get the dirt work done within a week or so, and possibly line that up with the closure, any of the closures with the runway, the small runway for the Alpha project where they're working in the runway. We'll try and do the work at the same time and take advantage of those. So we'll get it seeded next spring, summer should be pretty cool for that thing. Actually have a nice runway out there. We'll go out and paint the brackets on the ground. We'll use our paint machine and actually show, like, you'll be able to see from the air the thresholds of that. So it should be pretty nice. But
How about the sprinkler system? Is that gonna be on the edge, one edge?
it'll be on both edges, actually. Yeah, it'll run down both ways, staggered sprinklers. Yeah. A lot of zones there. We're out there, landscape guys looking at it. It's all 2-inch line running down the whole thing, going up to 1-inch sprinkler head. So it's all like commercial grade, big heads up there. Yeah, exactly. But that's all I have. I can answer any questions, you guys.
You're on the RFP for the UFO.
Absolutely. They're finally finished with the review of it. Legal has reviewed both sides of it. It's been through, just little word tweaks here and there. So every time one comes back with a word change, it's another week-long review with legal. So we finally.
Sorry, Frank, what were you asking about, please?
They had an RFP for the new FBO.
Okay, thank you.
Well, the new FBO is separate from the RFP area. But yes, we haven't advertised for the RFP area until they sign that lease in case there were any line changes. I didn't want to publish that with the incorrect lot size if they were to take less land or anything for their FBO operation. So as soon as that's inked, I anticipate a week or two, and that'll be a done deal. And they're already moving forward with engineering on a lot of the ramp design and FBO design over there. So as soon as that kicks off, we'll get that RFP advertised and see what we get as far as submissions on that as well for that north area.
I got a question, Gaston. How wide and how long is this grass runway gonna be?
It'll be 60 feet by at least 2,600.
Okay.
So possibly out to about 3,000, but at least 2,600.
Oh, any update on the VOR up there as to when it might go away?
Not a thing. I actually have another letter into them asking about an update and haven't heard anything. So we have now surpassed the date they said it would be this year again. So
What's the latest on the 185 flying?
full steam ahead. I was working with Mike a little bit on the parking area. I know we went out and looked at it. They're still expecting 100+ airplanes out there. So
What's the date on that?
the week of August 3rd.
Well, there's,
They'll have some arrivals that Sunday the 2nd. Anyone that wants to get out of Johnson Creek later, but it'll be hot and heavy by the time they'd be leaving there. So a lot of guys will wait till that Monday morning to come into here.
Well, so they're moving up.
Yeah, it'll be a big circuit coming through.
And we're doing a packing breakfast that Monday morning if you want to help.
That's right. I see the Airport Association looking for volunteers for the week, actually.
It'll be a week-long event. They'll be in and out.
To the 7th.
Yep, they're gonna base arrivals will be in and out of the museum. They have the big passenger vans. They're gonna be shuttling people down to the resort. They're all staying at the resort. There's different events they have set up throughout the week. There's a couple different flyouts that people can participate in if they want. A lot of them will do the bus. I guess they're gonna have some different buses running up and down from Sandpoint to go visit Daher up there, Kodiak, and different things. There's a fly out to Kavanaugh, I believe. There's gonna be, the
Wednesday, I think.
yeah. So
I
they're
got that one.
gonna have a briefing on that and
Where are you putting them?
out in the infield, kind of where our gravel parking is next to the fuel island. There's a really nice transitions that go through there and a bunch of grass parking areas. So on the gravel, we do have tie down cables. We can probably park at least 20 airplanes out there with tie downs. Most of them have been told to bring their own stakes and claws and stuff to tie down out in the grass. There's a good handful of them that are going to be kind of museum quality airplanes that we're going to find some hangar space for them. Get them out of the sun, but should be a pretty good mix. It'll be kind of cool to see them all parked.
Is there any possibility, like on that Sunday evening,
Mhm.
where I would imagine quite a few of them will come up here. You keep the tower open, because it might get so busy.
There's a good chance they will already be staying open late. I actually have a meeting next week with the Forest Service to talk about their extended tower hours going from 5 to 10. So the tower is likely going to be open till 10 at that time if the Forest Service, if everything goes through. So
And that'll be for the summer season.
yeah.
Anybody else?
That's quite a frequent.
You guys got a lot going on.
A lot of things, a lot of irons to the fire.
Like I said, kudos to Yasin for such a good job. It's nice to know all the electrical. The airport is just about updated. A lot of progress in the last 3 years, a lot of work. You guys really.
Kudos, well done.
Yep.
Okay, moving on. Airport Association updates. Do we have anything tonight? Cause Terry's not here.
Well, you weren't here, I was there, if you have any questions, but it was mainly about what we just talked about, the fly in August.
Wasn't it
Pretty
time
much
that day?
everything we covered.
You had a meeting last night, right?
Yeah, it was last night. Unless they need some pilots for Challenge Air out at Phelps this Saturday to fly the kids, if anybody wants to fly.
Okay.
If you have a plane, you wanna fly the disabled kids, they're doing Challenge Air on Saturday out at Phelps, and they needed a couple more pilots if anybody's interested.
Pilots with airplanes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Pilots.
I got airplanes, got bastards in boxes.
It's okay.
Pretty much it.
That was pretty much it for that meeting.
Okay, moving on to business, we really don't have any new business. That's great. Things are going along pretty tickety boo, okay, that's what I'd say. The only other thing I have, item B, anybody wants to add anything to the agenda, need to have the information to me or to Gaston by the 1st of July. So we can get the agenda put together and turned into account within the required. Then I'll move on to item 9, public comment.
Same as before, the great job this man's doing.
Ditto.
Thank you.
Everyone's got
I know your meetings are stunningly boring. I miss the old days when we come in here with the porches.
So we're just sleep. We'll get it together, quick.
Screaming at each other.
You don't miss that at all. I don't.
We'll start a good or something. Yeah.
Oh,
It's getting bored.
Everybody should stand for.
Well, we did, did you try to invite that lady to come up here to the meeting this week, you know, the lady down in, where's the Leisure Park you told me about?
Yeah. Didn't
I
take
guess she just likes to yell at gas and all the time. Okay, well, if that's it. Meeting's adjourned.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brian.
Take a step.
One of our pilots